Mindsetters, and welcome to it. It's another beautiful edition of Mindset Learn Extra's Grade 12 exam edition. More or less, my name is Katlego, for those that don't know this face, and we are together for an entire hour and a half where we'll be doing nothing but learning extra. As usual, guys, for those who are writing today, I hope everything went well. And for those that are stressing, I know most of you guys might be stressed that, this is, the last lane or the last lap of it. Never fear, we are here for you guys, and we're going to be making sure that we help you ace those exams. We're doing paper 1 maths today, and I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with my teacher. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm awesome. So please just tell me, what section of maths paper 1 are we doing today?
All right, we'll try and cover quite a lot of the sections in paper 1, but we want to also get these guys who are really, really struggling, the 25% and the 30%, we're trying to make sure that they get it right.
All right, guys, remember that we aim for 100%, 30%, no worries. So just make sure that you stay tuned for an entire hour and a half. We have exciting competitions that I'm going to be introducing to you guys in a moment. But then remember to keep the conversation going. We are on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/learnextra with an X. We are on Twitter as well. It's @LearnExtra. We're going to be posting a challenge question for the day. But then just make sure that you don't touch the dial, don't move. Just go get everything that will help you, more or less interact with us, and he'll help you to just be part of us for this maths paper 1. And then we'll be sure post your questions on Facebook, and we'll make sure that we answer most of them. Sihle, so just take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Bob. Grade 12s, this is your special day tomorrow for your maths paper 1. Let's try and make sure that we all get a pass. Today we're looking at your paper 1. We worked through questions from various paper 1 topics, and I'm going to introduce you to the challenge question first, and then we move on. Right, your challenge question for the day is, we've got Philip here. Philip is designing a large fish troughs in the shape of a rectangular prism with an open top as shown in the diagram below. The table shows some standard sized troughs and their surface area. All right, so you've got it in the diagram there. Okay, fish trough 1 for 2 bracket, but then when you add all this up, you get 44 square meters, 283, and so forth, and then up to the M, A plus B plus C equals to D. Now, your challenge will be to find the value of A plus B plus C in terms of M and place your answer into simplest form. And then your B part, they asking you, Philip's fish troughs are all built using the surface area formula of A plus B plus C. What is the surface area of the trough so that the top or the trough can hold 1,512 cubic meters of water if filled right to the top. Okay, right, so that is your challenge question. Okay, now starting with your first question. Guys, remember we're trying to make sure that everyone gets this right. Okay, so now you're given give the next 2 terms in the sequence, assuming that it remains constant. But you're looking at your pattern, right? This is 1 over 3, 3 over 5, and 6 and 5 over 7, right? You need to write the next 2 terms. But you have to just observe your pattern. What kind of a pattern is this? Is it arithmetic, geometric, quadratic, or any other, right? So now, if you look at your numerators here, you've got a 1, a 3, a 5, right, and on and on. Now, if you check here, you've got a difference of 2, right? So now it means that your next term, you'll have to add 2 to the previous one, so you get 7, and then the next one will be 9. So we already know that the numerators, so you've got 7 over something, and then 9 divided by something. Now let's check our denominators. With your denominator, you've got a 3, 5, 7, right? Again, there's a constant difference of 2 here, right? So it means that the next term will be 9, and then the next one will be 11. So you've got 7 over 9 and 9 over 11. That is your 1 mark. So each and every one of us has to be able to get that, right? Now, your next question, solve for x, correct to 1 decimal digit, okay? So you've got x squared minus 3x equals to 2 bracket x minus 1. Right? Now, if you look this, you can't just say, okay, take out the common factor of x, bracket x minus 3, and so forth. This is your trinomial. So you get it into a standard form, your ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? So now you've got your x squared minus 3x equals to 2x minus 2. All right? Now, we need to get it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to naught. Right? So you've got to have something with an x squared and then with an x and also a constant. Okay? But in this case, so you've got a 2x there, there's a negative 3x, those two are like terms. You take it across, so you've got x squared minus 5x, right, plus 2 equals to 0. Now, remember guys in grade 10, when you were given something like this, x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals to naught, it was easy to factorize, right? So you've got your x, 2 and 1, minus and minus, then your x is 2, or your x is 1, all right? But now, if it does not factorize, remember you can use your quadratic formula, or you can complete a square. But completing a square becomes complicated for others, so we suggest you use your quadratic formula, right? So you've got your x equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Right, now remember, this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, so ax squared plus bx plus your c. Your a is 1, your b is minus 5, and your c is 2. And then you substitute. Okay, we've got your b there, so it's minus bracket minus 5 plus or minus the square root of minus 5, and that is squared minus 4 bracket. Our a is 1, and then c is 2, all divided by 2 bracket a is 1. And then you simplify, right? So you get 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 8, all divided by 2. Then you take your calculator, right? So you sub in your calculator, all right? So we've got a fraction there. All right, so you type it in your calculator. There's some technical issues. We'll come back to this one. So you just type it in your calculator, and please make sure that you round off to the decimal places that they've given you. So it's to 1 decimal digit, so you have to round off to 1 decimal digit. Okay, now guys, your next problem, all right, you're given 8x minus 5 equals to 32 to exponent 10 minus 2x. Let's just fix that. This is your 8 to exponent x minus 5 equals to 32 to exponent 10 minus 2x. Now, guys, remember, if you were given 2 to exponent x equals to 64, you want to find the value of x. So I'm going to raise 2 to exponent what to get 64? I know 2 to 1 is 2, 2 to 4, 2 to 2 is 4, 3 is 8, and so on and so on. So in this case, so what you're going to say is this is 2 to exponent x equals to the 64 is 2 to exponent 6. Now the bases are the same left and right, so you conclude by saying therefore x is 6. Now same thing applies here. You've got your left hand side and your right hand side. Now with your knowledge of exponents from your grade 10, you can write 8 to base 2 and also 32 to base 2. Now, we know that 8 is 2 to exponent 3. Now, remember, guys, you have to put a bracket because this is to exponent x minus 5. Because if you leave it like 2 to exponent 3, and then you've got that x minus 5. Now, this is now 2 to exponent 3x minus 5, not the 2 to exponent 3x minus 15. So we have to be extra careful on that note. So you've got 2 to exponent 3, bracket, it's all to exponent x minus 5. Now, your 32, you can write it to base 2. This is 2 to exponent 5, but this is all, can you see that I'm putting a bracket? This is all to exponent 10 minus 2x. Now, equals to 2. Now, if you simplify, now remember your rule, you've got your 5 times 10, and then 5 times minus 2x. Then you get 50 minus 10x. Now, same thing applies here. Now, guys, remember now the base on the left is the same as the base on your right. Then you can drop your bases. So, therefore, your 3x minus 15 is 50 minus 10x, right? Now, your next step is to group the like terms, right? So, I've got an x here. There's also an x this side. So, I can take this 10x across. It changes the sign, remember? You've got your 3x, and then on the left-hand side, it's going to be plus 10x. Then that gives us 13x equals to your 50. Take the 15, the negative 15 across, you get a plus 15. That's your 65. And then you simplify, then your x is 65 divided by 13, and then you simplify from there. Okay. All right. Guys, your question number 3. This is written as your cube root of 3x minus 23 equals to minus 2. Now, guys, remember if you have the square root of x equals to 5, right, how can I solve for x there? What is it that I have to square root to get a 5? Right? We know that it's 25. But to doing it step by step, now there's a 2 here, so it means that I'm going to have to square on both sides, right? And then this means that I have the x to exponent half, but this is all to 2. And now watch, 2 divided by 2, then you get your x. Now this is x equals to 25. Now, same thing applies. You cube rooting, so it means that I'm going to cube root to cube both sides. So it's all to exponent 3. Now remember, this becomes your 3x minus 23, right? All to exponent 1 over 3 times that 3 equals to, now the minus 2 to exponent 3 means that you have a minus 2 times a minus 2 times a minus 2, which gives us a negative 8. All right? Now, the 3 and the 3 divides, so you get the 3x minus 23 equals to minus 8, right? Now, the next step, right, is to group the like terms. So you've got your 3x equals to that minus 8 plus the 23, then that is your 3x equals to 15. Now, to get rid of that 3, I then divide by 3 on both sides. Therefore, your x is 5. So your value of x, it's equals to 5. My brother, don't you think we have to give them just a short break and then we move on?
A little breather, guys. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, I'm going to be explaining the challenge, the question that we have. I mean, more or less the competition that we're running. Exciting, exciting, exciting. You guys stand a chance to walk away or drive away within that Chevrolet Spark L. So don't go anywhere. Just go grab water, and then we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, Mindsetters. You're still tuned in to our exam school, and we're doing nothing but paper 1 mathematics. And I am with CK, our teacher in the studio today. And then more or less, we are welcoming your questions, guys, on Facebook and on Twitter. You can just go there and then @LearnExtra with an X, and then we'll make sure that we attend to you. On Facebook, we are www.facebook.com/LearnExtra with an X. Just go there. You'll get our notes and more or less the questions that other of your mates are posting, and which will more or less help you guys to just get through the exam that you guys are going to write in the future. As I told you guys, we have an exciting competition that we are running. You stand a chance to win yourself a Chevrolet Spark L. It's easy, guys. Just go in store and then purchase this book. It's a K53 book, and then make sure that you keep the receipt at all times. Go to the internet and then download the Samsung Galaxy app, and more or less just get into our Facebook page. You'll find instructions. There's a tab there. It's a Spark L tab. tab, and then when you get there, just click on it. It will direct you guys. And then remember, the more you enter the competition, you stand a chance of winning. And then we're going to be doing a draw where more or less you guys, or one of you guys, can walk away or drive away in that Chevrolet Spark L. But then right now, I see most of you guys have already started posting the questions. Challenge question is up on our Facebook page, and just make sure that I'll attend to them. I'll make sure rather that I attend to them with Siche in a moment. Sir, you can take it away.
Sure, boss. All right, grade 12s, let's just continue with what we started. Now, we're still on question 1, but checking with your C. They're asking you to check whether x equals to -1 is a root of this equation, right? Now, if you have, for instance, x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals to 0, right? And then I'm asking you to check whether x equals to -1, for instance, is a root of this equation. So now what you do is your left-hand side has to be the same as your right-hand side. So if I get a 2 on the left-hand side and then a 0 on the right-hand side, I conclude that this is not the root of this equation, right? So now if you put a -1 here on your left-hand side, this will be your -1 squared plus 4 minus 1 minus 5, which gives us 1 minus 4 minus 5, which gives us -8. So you see you're getting -8, right? And on your right-hand side it's 0. So therefore this is not a root to this equation. But how about if you put a 1, a plus 1? So you've put a 1, so you get 1 plus 4 minus 5, then you've got a 5 minus 5, then not, it's equals to not. So 1 is a root of this equation. So you can factorize that. You'll have your x minus 1 and something. Is that clear? Right, thank you. Now, so with this one as well, you've got your x equals to -1. You need to test if it's the root of this equation. So if I take the left-hand side, this will be your 3 bracket -1 to 7 minus 2 minus 1. And our right-hand side is your -1 to exponent 3 plus 1, and that's -1 plus 1, and that's 0. So your right-hand side, if we get the left-hand side as 0, then we conclude by saying this is also a root of this equation. Okay, right. So now if you substitute there, you get a -3, right? Because that's -1 times a 3, you get a -3 plus 2, then your answer is -1. Now can you see that the left is -1 and the right is 0? So you conclude by saying, therefore, x equals to -1 is not the root of this equation because the remainder, because the left-hand side is not the same as your right-hand side. Okay? Right. Now, again, can you see that we're still going back, referring you to your grade 10 and 11, guys, because there are marks that you really need to get. At least 30% moving forward, so you'll be able to get. All right? Now, so your simplification, you need to remember that when you simplify this expression, you must have an LCD, and you keep the LCD. It's unlike when you're solving for x. If you had equals to 0 here, it was going to be a different story, right? So you will have the LCD, but when you're solving your LCD, you multiply each and every term with your LCD, okay? But in this case, we are simplifying, so we have to keep the LCD there. So you've got your P minus Q bracket P plus Q. Now remember, what you do is you take your LCD and you say LCD divide by that denominator. And now remember that P minus Q is going to divide the P minus Q. We'll be left with that P plus Q. That's going to multiply the numerator. So you get your P plus Q all squared minus, same story here, the P plus Q and the P plus Q, then you left with the P minus Q, then you square that. Now, if you simplify that, your P plus Q all squared, then you get your P squared plus 2PQ plus your Q squared minus. Now, in this bracket, you'll get your P squared, right, minus 2PQ times that minus, you get your plus 2PQ, and then the plus Q squared, so multiply by that negative, you get minus Q squared. It's all divided by your P minus Q, bracket your P plus your Q. Now, guys, collect your like terms, your P squared minus P squared, your Q squared minus Q squared, your final answer here. You like terms 2pq, 2pq, then you get 4pq, all divided by p minus q, bracket p plus q. Are they answering the challenge question?
Most of them are just posting questions there.
All right, wonderful. All right, guys, we're moving on to your question F. Find n so that you're given a sigma notation, starting when k is 1 up to when k is n, of 3k minus 10 equals to 8,018. Right? We want to work out the value of n. Sigma notation is given, so you need to work out the sum. The sum is given to you, so you don't know what n is. How many terms are there in this particular sequence that will give us 8,018. Now, remember, you need to generate this sequence, or rather the series. You're starting from k equals to 1, right? So in other words, where I see k, I'm going to substitute with that 1. So I have 3 bracket 1 minus 10, right? That's my term 1. Term 2, I have 3 bracket 2 minus 10 plus 3 minus 10 plus up to your n, which is going to be 3n minus 10. Now, but this has to help me to identify what kind of a sequence is this. Is it arithmetic? If it's arithmetic, then the constant, I will have the constant difference. And then if it's your geometric, then I'm going to have your constant ratio. And then if it's your quadratic, then you'll have your second difference constant. All right. So now let's just check. 3 minus 10, you get a minus 7. Right. And then a 6 minus 10, you get a minus 4. And then your 9 minus 10, you have a minus 1, and so on and so on. Now let's check. If I look at the difference here, minus 4 minus 7, I get a 3. Minus 1 minus 4, I get 3. Right? So this is our constant difference. So it means that this is our arithmetic sequence. All right? Now, but the sum is given there that it is your 8,018. Now we know that the sum formula is your Sn equals to n over 2 bracket to 2a plus your n minus 1 d close bracket. All right? Now the sum is given, so the sum is there. It's 8,018 equals to n. That's what I'm looking for. Bracket 2. Your a, your first term is minus 7, right? Plus the n minus 1, and our difference is 3. Okay? Right. So we have only one unknown there, guys. Now, so let's simplify. Okay, that's 18 times 2, 16,036. So we've got 16,036 equals to, so now what I just did, I multiplied by 2 throughout, and then that 2 divides by 2, and then that 2 times the 8,018 gives us 16,036. So you've got your n bracket minus 14 plus your 3n minus 3, right? Now, this gives us 16,036 equals to n bracket 3n minus 17, right? Now, our next step, this is 3n squared minus 17n, right? And then we take this across, so you'll have your minus 16,036 equals to 0. Now, so you've got a big number there. Let's just use a calculator to work out n, all right? Now, you've got an squared plus bn plus c. Now, it's minus b, so your b is negative 17. So that will be 17 plus the square root of b squared, 17 minus 17 squared minus 4, your A is 3, right? And then your C is negative 16036, but all divided by 2, and your A is 3. Okay, right? And then your first answer is 76. So you've got N equals to 76, or now, because you know that this is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, so we need to do the 1 for the minus. For the minus that equals to negative 211 over 3. So we've got minus 211 all over 3. Now, guys, you have to make a decision here. You've got n is 76 or n is minus 211 divided by 3. You cannot have n as a fraction, right? If I come in your house, even if you are that short, but you're not going to be 0.5, all right? So this one is out. So therefore, your n, it's equals to 76. All right. Now, guys, your next problem, can you see that we have easier questions that we can get, but from different sections in your paper 1, that 35%, all right? So now, G, you've got f of x, right? You have f of x equals to x cubed minus x squared minus 22x plus 40. Use the factor theorem to factorize fully for f of x, right? Now, guys, right, you've done different methods on this one, right? I'm not going to go through all of them, but just focus on the one that it's given. All right, so now you'll try the factors, okay? So you're going to say, now I'm looking at this 40 and the coefficient of x cubed, which is your a. Now the possible factors will be your plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, and on up to your plus or minus 40. That will divide into that 40 and the 1. All right? So you try all of them. If you put a 1, 1 minus 1, minus 22, it doesn't work. The minus 1. Let's try 2. So I'll have f of 2 is 2 cubed minus 2 squared minus 22 by 2 plus 40. Right, then that's 8 minus 4 minus 44 plus 40, and that gives us 0. So f at 2 is not, right? Now, so in other words, your remainder when you divide this f of x by x minus 2 is 0. Now, for us to factorize that fully, all right, let's just use the synthetic division here, right? So you've got the coefficients. Let's just write it down. Minus, you've got x cubed minus x squared minus 22x plus 40. Now, with the synthetic division, you've got your coefficients here. It's 1 minus 22, and then 40. We're dividing by 2. Drop down that 1, so you get 2, and then this is 1. 1 times 2, it's 2, and then you have a minus 20. Minus 20 times 2, you get minus 40. And then this is 0. Now, guys, remember, even if you use your long division, your quotient will be that. So you've got your x minus 2 bracket. Now, I need something with x squared here. So the coefficient will be that one. So I have 1x squared plus that 1x minus 20. It's equals to 0. Now, guys, it is now easy to factorize that. You've got x minus 2 bracket. Can we find the factors of x squared plus x minus 20? Yes. So I've got x plus 5, x minus 4. Then your x is 2, or x is minus 5, or x is 4, if they wanted you to find the whole solution. But for now, they said factorize that so you end up with your factors. Right. Can I just finish this one? Is it fine?
Yeah.
Right. So now they're asking you to find f prime 1. All right, you have to derive your f of x. So now it is the derivative of your f of x, that's 3x squared minus 2x minus 22. Okay? Now your f at f prime 1 will be, now you see you have your derivative, so you then sub in the 1. So you've got your 3 bracket 1 squared minus 2, 1 minus 22. Then you get a 3 minus 2 minus 22, right? And then that's minus 21. So the gradient when x is 1, it is negative 21 in that particular problem. Okay, let's just go for a break and drink.
Awesome, Mindset to see. Remember, you're still tuned into grade 12 exam school edition of Mindset Learn Extra. I am Katlego Legodi, and of course, we're going to be back after the break, and I'll be giving you more information on how you can become part of this exciting competition that we are running. I see most of you are more or less asking for me to just tell the teacher to slow it down a bit, but then I'll just have a chat with him, and then when we come back, we'll make sure that we sort you guys out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Welcome back, Mindsetters. You're still tuned into Mindset Learn Extra, and I am Katlego, and of course we're doing your grade 12 edition. It's exam school, proudly brought to you by MTN SA. Just remember, guys, that we are running an awesome competition where you guys stand a chance to win a Chevrolet Spark L. It's very, very easy. Just go in store and then purchase yourself this K53 book. Remember to never lose your slip. Just go onto our page and then you'll find a tab there which will give you instructions in terms of how you can enter this competition, and then you like there, the more you like is the more you stand a chance to win. And more or less, guys, you can also download the Samsung Galaxy app and just make sure that you enter this competition. It's very, very exciting. The draw, we're going to be having it on the 23rd of November. So more or less, guys, just go there. And we've seen your questions here, and you guys just bear with us, grade 12s, and we're just going to make sure that we attend to almost all of your questions, and we'll be sure that we just pace down a bit. I'll throw it back to the teacher.
Okay. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, now we're looking at your question number 2. Now remember, you'll be able to download this, the notes and the questions, and you'll find the solutions there. If there's something you didn't understand and you're still working with us on Facebook and so forth and so forth. All right. Now, so we're looking at your question 2. Refer to the figure showing stacking of congruent triangles. So you've got figure number 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. Right. Complete the table for 2 marks. Right. Figure number 1, number of sides. If you look at your figure number 1, there's this side, that side, that side. So we've got 3 sides. Right. Now figure number 2, this is 3 sides, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 there. Figure number 3, they've calculated it for you. That's 3, it's 18. Right? Figure number 4, that's 30. All right? Now, with your figure number 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 20. Oh, that's 30. Oh, that's figure number 4. That is 30. Now, they need you to work out figure number 5, right? So you've got your 3, 9, 18, 30. All right. Now, let's look at the differences, right? Here, there's 9 minus 3, you get a 6. 18 minus 9, it's a 9. And then 30 minus 18, it's 12. Now, if you look at your second differences, this is a 3, 3. Now, if this is the same, then it goes without saying that it's going to be 3, 3, 3. So this is quadratic pattern. So if that is 3, then there is 15. And up there is 45. So to complete that table, figure 5 is 45. I hope we're all together. All right. So now that is 45. Now, hence, find which figure has 900 sides of triangles. All right. But now, okay, we haven't answered the second question. find a formula for a number of sides in the nth figure. We know that in 1 it's 3, 2 it's 9, 3 is 18, and so forth and so forth. But now with n, you need to work out the general formula, and it's 7 marks. Now you're using different formulas, right? Now there's quite a lot of way to get to your answer, but let's just look at a simpler one, which is your Tn equals to T1 plus n minus 1 f plus n minus 1 n minus 2 divided by 2 times s. Now just a little bit of explanation here, where your T1 is the first term of the original sequence, all right? And then f is the first term of the first difference, all right? And then s is the second difference. All right, guys, in simple terms, what you can do is, using this formula, you can circle your first terms of each and every sequence that you have, right? So we're saying T1, this is your T1, this is your F, and then this is your S. Now remember, your quadratic pattern will be in the form Tn equals to an squared plus bn plus your c, all right? Now, let's just substitute. So we've got a 3, 6, and a 3. So your Tn is T1 plus n minus 1 plus n minus 1 n minus 2 all divided by 2 times your s. Right, so now substitute your T1 is, look at it, T1 is 3 plus your F is 6 bracket n minus 1 plus S is 3 n minus 1 n minus 2 all divided by 2. All right, so this gives us 3 plus 6 n minus 6 plus 3. Now remember, you have your n minus 1, n minus 2. Right? If you multiply that out, you get n squared minus 3n plus 2 all divided by 2, which gives us 6n minus 3 plus your 3n squared minus 9n plus 6 all divided by 2. All right? Now, and that simplifies to your 12n minus 6 plus 3n squared minus 9n plus 6 all divided by 2. Remember, this is all over 1, and then you've got an LCD of 2. Then this, if you collect your like terms, you get your 3n squared, right? Minus 6 plus 6, and then plus 3n all divided by 2. So your Tn is 3n squared plus 3n all divided by 2. So that is your general formula, okay? Now, your next question, they said, hence, determine which figure has 900 sides of triangles, right? So, determine which figure has 900 sides. Now, figure number 1, if you put a 1 here, you get 3 plus 3 over 2, that's 6 over 2, that's 3. Figure number 2, you put a 2 squared 4 times 3, that's 12 plus 6, right? So your figure number 2 is 3 bracket 2 squared plus 3 times 2 all over 2, that's 12 plus your 6, and then you get 18 over 2, that is 9. So now we need the one that has 900 sides, okay? Now, what you do is, on your Tn, you've got your 900, right? So you have 900 will be equal to your 3n squared plus 3n all divided by 2, all right? and then you multiply by that 2 throughout, so you get 1800 equals to your 3n squared plus 3n, which gives us n squared plus n plus 900 equals to naught, right? So that is supposed to be a minus. Okay, so you've got n squared plus n minus 900, right? And we've been doing this for quite a while, so you must put it in your quadratic formula and you get your n, right? Now, guys, let's move on, all right? Are they answering the challenge questions?
Most of them are just posting questions and
but there's no answer for the challenge question yet.
Answer to the challenge question, we do have a couple.
Okay, no problem. All right, guys, let's just move on. You keep posting your questions, and if there's something you don't understand, you just say it there, and then we're going to be looking at it. Now, your question number 4, you need to find your dy dx for y equals to x cubed plus 6x squared minus 5x plus 4, all divided by x. Now, guys, remember, at this level, your metric level, finding your derivative, right? You cannot find your derivative at metric level while you still have your x as your denominator or under the square root. So it has to be x to exponent something, all right? So now can you see that this is all over x? So you need to simplify that first, so you get y is this, it's all over x, so it means that each and every term has got a denominator of x. So x cubed divided by x, that gives us x squared, plus your 6x squared divided by x gives us 6x, minus 5x divided by x, that's 5, plus 4 divided by x, it's 4x to minus 1. Now, we're finding the derivative with respect to x, so your y is the subject of the formula. So we now can be able to say, okay, your dy dx is, now the derivative of x squared is 2x, and the derivative of 6x is 6. And now, guys, what's the derivative of minus 5? Thank you very much. It is 0, because you've got your minus 5x to 0, which is just 1, and the 0 times minus 5, it's 0, times whatever, then your answer is 0. And then here, you've got your minus 4x subtract 1, so minus 2. And if they ask you to leave your answer to positive exponents, so you have your 2x plus 6 minus 4 all over x squared. All right? That is your answer for number 1. Now, your next question, you find the derivative, and then you find the gradient when your x is 2 root 2, right? So now, you've got your f of x, right? To get the derivative here, this will be your f prime x equals to, how do you derive x cubed? You've got the exponent times the coefficient, which is 1. Then you get 3x to 2 minus 3 minus 1, you get a 2 minus 4, right? Now you want f prime 2 root 2. So in the place of x, I'm going to sub in the 2 square root 2. So this is your f prime 2 square root 2, which gives us 3 bracket 2 root 2 all squared minus 4. And that is 3 bracket 4 times 2 minus 4. And that is 3 times 8 minus 4. And you work it out. All right. Now, guys, looking at your question number 5, keep asking if there's something you don't understand. Now I'm a bit slow, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Right, now question 5, if a plus 2b is 5 and c is 3, what is the value of a plus 2 bracket b plus c? Now, guys, can you see that these questions are the questions that you really, really need to get them right? Right now, they've given you c is 3. In other words, where c, I can sub in 3. So I've got a plus 2 bracket b plus that 3. Okay? Now, this is your A plus your 2B plus 6. Now, something very interesting here. They said A plus 2B is 5. So where I see A plus 2B, I can sub in a 5. So this is 5 plus 6, and your solution here is 11. Okay? Right? Because you're given A plus 2B is 5 and C is 3. You needed to find the value of A plus 2 bracket B plus C, referring to the information that's given to you. Okay. Now, guys, your B, you're given two functions there. I'm going to give you this question and you do it at home, and then we compare our solutions. Given f of x equals to 9 and g of x equals to x squared, state the range of each function. And then the next problem on the same question, find the value or values of x for which f of x is greater than g of x for 2 marks. Right? Chief, we can just let them go drink some water.
All right. All right, guys, I see most of you are posting questions and seeking clarity. When we come back, we'll make sure that we attend to those questions. Remember to just keep it going. On Facebook, we are www.facebook.com/learnextra with an X. We are on Twitter as well. It's at learnextra. The question, the notes, the links to the notes are there. They'll direct you to our website, and to make sure that it helps you make mathematics paper 1 easier for you guys. Just make sure that you don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, Mindsetters. We're still doing Maths Paper 1 exam questions, or exam exam schools. We are here together for an entire hour and a half. We've been through here out with you, me and CK, trying to help you guys just make sure that you ace that paper tomorrow. And we see your questions, guys, and we'll be attending to them a little bit later. And we'll just make sure that we get through what we're doing now, and then we'll just leave a segment or a part to attending to all of your questions. I've got tons of questions from you guys, but then we'll be sure to attend to them. And remember to just keep it locked onto our Facebook page and Twitter, and that's where you'll get instructions to the exciting competition that we are running. I'm going to throw it back to Sihle now.
Thank you, Baba. All right, guys, before the break, I've given you this question. You've got f of x equals to 9 and g of x equals to x squared. Then you needed to state the range of each function, right? You're looking at y in that particular function, right? If you look at this function, I've got a 9. This is y. Then x. So the y values in this function, it's only 9. So the range for this function, y is equals to 9 for your f of x, right? Now, if you look at your next function, this is your parabola, y equals to x squared, right? So your y values, right? So can you see that I don't meet the y's up until I get to here and all the way up, all right? So now from 0 and up, so y is an element of real numbers, and your y should be greater or equals to 0. All right. Now, your question number 2, right, you need to find the value or values of x for which your f of x is greater than your g of x. So now this is two functions, y equals to x squared and y equals to 9. So this is your f of x, and then that's your g of x. So now, where is this function, right? Your f above your g, all right? So can you see that at this point, this graph, right, your parabola is above your straight line, and it's also above your straight line from that point. Now, it's only below that at this particular point. So from this x value and that x value, your point of contact of those two graphs, right? So you've got a 9 equals to x squared, then your x is plus or minus 3. So the x value here is minus 3, and the x here is 3. So what you can say is when your x is between minus 3 and 3, and then you get your full marks. Or you can bring back your functions. Okay, this is 9 greater than your x squared, all right? And then you've got your x squared less than 9, then x squared minus 1 is less than 0. Then you factorize x minus 3, x plus 3 less than 0, and your rough parabola sketch minus 3, and then 3, you're looking for negatives, right? So your x should be between minus 3 and 3. All right. So those are the x values where your f of x is greater. So it's above that function, which is your parabola. Right. Now, so you've got question 6 still on functions. Refer to the figure below showing the graphs of f of x equals to 3 to x and your g of x equals to f to minus 1 x. So the inverse of f. Right? Now, they want you to calculate the average gradient of the curve between the points where x is minus 1 and when x is equals to 1. Right? Of this function f, right? So you've got your function f, you're given 2 points, x is minus 1 and x is 1. And then you sub them in this to get your y. So you've got y is 3 to minus 1, which is 1 over 3. And then here y is 3 to 1, which gives us 3. Now, remember your gradient. Let's see, we've got some space. Right, so your average gradient, it's equals to your change in y over change in x. So you've got your 3 minus 1 over 3, all divided by 1 minus minus 1, which gives us, that's 9 minus 1, that's 8 over 3, all divided by 2, and that's 8, you've got 8 over 3 times 1 over 2, and your final solution is 4 over 3. So the average gradient between those 2 points, it's 4 divided by 3. Okay, right. We've got give the equation of g in the form of g of x equals to. Now remember you had y equals to 3 to exponent x, right? So you have y equals to 3 to exponent x. You need to find the inverse. Remember, they said your g of x is f to minus 1 x, right? So the inverse, you interchange the x and y, so you get your x is 3 to y, and then you make your y the subject of a formula, so you introduce logs here. So you've got your log x base 3 equals to 1. So that's how you find the inverse there. Right. Am I going with them or am I alone?
You are with them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, guys, still on the functions, right? We're trying to make sure that we get all these marks, right? Question 7, you're given f of x equals to 3 divided by x minus 2 minus 1. And your g of x equals to 3x minus 7, right? Now, draw the graphs of f and g. All the intercepts with the x's and asymptotes should be clearly shown. All right? Now, this is your hyperbola, right? You've got your y equals to 3 divided by x minus 2 minus 1, right? Remember, you've got asymptotes on this graph, which is that and that, all right? So now you've got your x equals to 2 and your y equals to minus 1, right? So now, with your hyperbola, you've got a y and then your x. It's not going to touch a 2. And then your minus 1. All right? And then you need your x-intercepts and then your y-intercepts. Now, for y, you make x 0. So you get your y is 3 over minus 2 minus 1, which is minus 3 over 2 minus 1, and that is 2 minus 3 minus 2 minus 5 over 2, right? So your y minus 5 over 2, somewhere there roughly, all right? Now, and then your x, you make y equals to 0. So if y is not, so you'll have your 0 is 3 over x minus 2, and then minus 1. Take that 1 across, so you've got 1 equals to 3 over x minus 2. Then your x minus 2 is 3. Then your x is 5. Right? So your x-intercept is 5. Now, if you just put some of the points on the graph, you'll see that you'll be having something like this, not touching your asymptotes, and then that. Okay, so that is your hyperbola. And now with your straight line, you need your x-intercept and your y-intercept. For x, for your y, you make x 0. All right, if x is 0 here, you've got 0 times 3, which is not minus 7. Then your y is minus 7. All right, so you'll have a minus 7 somewhere there. But you guys will be accurate, and you have your graph paper. And then your x, you make y 0. If y is 0, then you'll have your 3x minus 7. 7 is 3x. Then your x is 7 over 3, right? Which is 2 comma something. So you'll have something like that, okay? Then that is your straight line graph, okay? Now, use your graphs to find the value or values of x for which f of x equals to g of x, right? And then now the nice thing is that you guys will be having your graph papers, and then you'll be able to interpret from your graph, right? And then where your f of x is greater or equals to is greater than g of x. Now remember, for your first question, once you've worked it out, this is your point of contact between the two graphs, and that is your point of contact, right? And your graph, guys, it's 3 over x minus 2 minus 1, 3 over x minus 2 minus 1 equals to your 3x minus 7. And I'm going to let you do it, okay? And then you find the x values, okay? So you've got your 3 over x minus 2 equals to your 3x minus 6, which is 3 over x minus 2 equals to, take out a common factor there, 3 bracket x minus 2. This is all over 1, cross multiply, you get your 3 is 3 bracket x minus 2 all squared. Then you get a 1 equals to x minus 2 all squared. Then this is plus or minus 1 is x minus 1. It's x minus 2, sorry. Then now, in other words, I've got a 2 plus or minus 1 is x. So x is 3 or x is 1. So you've got x equals to 3 or x equals to 1. So in other words, these points here, you've got a 1 and something, right? And then this side, you've got a 3 and something. Now, you need to find the values. F at x is equals to g of x. So you've got those 2 points where these two graphs meet. One, you have x equals to 1. And then the next one, x equals to 3. And then you can sub in any graph. So if you put a 3 here in your straight line, you get 9 minus 7. So y is 2. And then if you put a 1 there, you get minus 4. So y is negative 4. All right? So now those 2 points, it's 3, 2, and 1 minus 4. So that is where those 2 graphs meet. Now, if you look at your next question, where is f of x greater than g of x? Now, if you go back, f of x is your hyperbola, and g of x is your straight line, right? Now, where is your hyperbola above the straight line? Look, this point up to there, the hyperbola is above the straight line, okay? Right? And then also this point there up. So from your 2 to 1, right? This graph is above your straight line. So you use those two values. So you've got 1 and 2. So when your x is between your 1 and 3, that's when you find your f of x being greater than your g of x. Right? Are they working?
Yeah, they are working.
Okay. Now, guys, let's move on to the next question. Let's just check if we've done everything there. Right? On functions. All right. I think we can give them a break, right? And then after the break, we do the challenge and then the other questions that we still need to look at.
Awesome. Remember, guys, that we are on Facebook. Just keep making sure that you post those questions. And I see a couple of you guys have already started answering the challenge question. When we get back, as CK has said, we'll be attending to most of those questions. And I'll still be reminding you of an awesome competition that we are running. And remember, we are doing Maths Paper 1. Just go grab a breather, grab water, and then just be back with us in a moment. Good afternoon again, Mindsetters, and welcome back to it. It's Mindset Learn Extra's Winter School, rather the exam school, proudly brought to you by the Department of Basic Education and MTNSA. We have an interesting competition that we are running, guys. This book will help you actually get information on how you can actually more or less be part of that competition. But it's easy. You just go buy this in any of your major outlets, and then you enter the competition, and then you can also download an app, Samsung Galaxy app, and then just go there onto our Facebook page. There's a portal there where you can just go there and like, and it's very, very easy, guys. You'll be able to walk away with one of 4 Chevrolet Spark L. So just make sure that you keep interacting with us on our Facebook page for all those instructions and information on how you can actually be part of this competition. It's www.facebook.com/learnextra, and of course also we are on Twitter. If you need extra information, it's at @learnextra. And we are going to be attending to some of your questions. Are we doing it now, CJ?
Yeah.
Are we attending to the questions?
Yes.
Awesome. We are attending to some of your questions, guys, and then we're just going to take it back to the board. I have a couple of you guys who just threw a couple of things. Some of you attempted or just answered the challenge question, and some of you just went there and just...
How many people answered the challenge question?
We have 3.
I'm going to give them this question. They work it out, do the challenge, and then I come back to this question.
Awesome. So now we're just going back to the board.
Yes.
All right. So remember, guys, he told you we're going back to the board, and when we come back, we're going to do the challenge question. After that, we'll attend to general questions that you guys might have regarding Maths Paper 1. That's just me.
Okay. Guys, you've got your probability question here. There are 115 people in a group. The Venn diagram below shows the number of people who enjoy listening to radio. Okay. The number of people who enjoy listening to the radio, which is R in your Venn diagram. And then the ones that enjoy gardening and the ones enjoying cooking. Okay, that's nice. There are people who enjoy all 3 activities. There are people who do not enjoy any of the activities. Okay, right. So I want you guys at home to work out if there are 28 people who enjoy gardening, you need to calculate the value of x. So you've got 47 minus x, and then 27 minus x. So you need to work out what x is. That is your first problem. And then hence find the value of y. So you can work it out at home. And then the next question, there are 9 letters in the word cell phone. The word cell phone are each written on a card and rearranged. How many different arrangements can be made if the repeated letters E and L are considered as different? And then your 2, you need to find the probability that the 2 E's will be placed next to each other if the repeated letters are considered as different. And then your next problem, how many different arrangements that start with the letter P can be made if the repeated letters are considered the same? So you've got those questions on your probability and your counting. All right, now let's just look at your challenge question. Can't find the challenge question now. All right, guys, it says Philip is designing a large fish troughs in the shape of a rectangular prism with an open top as shown in the diagram below. The table shows some standard size troughs and their surface areas. Okay? All right. So you've got an open top there, and then your fish trap 1. If you look at this, you've got 2 bracket 1 plus 3, and that gives us 2 bracket 4. All right? And that is 8. Plus, now on this side, you got 5 plus 1, that's 6 times 2, that's 12. Plus the 1 plus 3, which is 4. You've got a 4 times 6, and then that's 24. Right? If you add these, you get 44. Right? That is correct. So in fish trough 1, there is 44. So if you add them up, you get that 83, 132, and 199. All right? And 260, and then D. Now, find the value of A plus B plus C in terms of M. Place your answer into simplest form. So you need your A plus B plus C. Now, if you look at this pattern, guys, you've got a 1 here squared for this number 1, all right? Right, and then you've got 2 squared plus 2, and then for that 2, and so forth and so forth. So it means that there's a pattern here. So if you take this is now going to be 2 bracket, now that is M squared plus your 3M, all right, plus 2 bracket M squared plus your 5M plus your M plus 3 bracket your M plus 5. So now, can you see that this is now your A plus B plus C? All right? Now, let's just work it out. You've got 2 bracket M squared plus 3, is it 3M? Plus 3M, right, plus 2 bracket M squared plus 5M plus your M plus 3 bracket your M plus 5. Now, guys, remember that we need to find the value of A plus B plus C in terms of M. So in other words, at the end of the day, we have M in our solution, right? Now, let's just simplify there. So you get your, if you times that, 2 times M squared, you get 2M squared, all right, plus your 3M times 2, that's your 6M, plus your 2M squared, plus 10M, plus. Now, look, this is a binomial by binomial, then you get your M squared plus 3M, 8M, so 8M plus the 15. Okay? Now, let's group the like terms, 2M squared plus that, then you get your 5M squared plus 6 and 10, all right? And then you've got 18, that's 10, 18 plus 6, that's 24M plus the 15, all right? So now, you've got your A plus B plus C. So in other words, this is your quadratic pattern. So you're going to say at the end of the day, so therefore, your A is 5, your B is 24, and then your C is 15. But the nice way that some of you are approaching it in your answers is that you look at your answers for your A plus B plus C to work out your D using your M. So you've got the 44, and then 83, 132, uh, 191, and then 260. Right? And then you worked out the differences here, right? And then your Just check with your differences. You've got your 83 minus 44, that's 39. And then your 132 minus your 83, that's 49. And 191 minus 132, we get 59. And this is 260 minus 191, which gives us 69, right? So you've got your 69. And then the second difference is 10, all right? Now, so in other words, like we've been doing earlier on, we can now tell that this is your quadratic pattern. You've got your T1 here, this is your F, and then this is your S, right? So you know that your Tn is T1 plus n minus 1 F plus n minus 1 n minus 2, all divided by 2 times your S, right? And then we substitute, you've got 44, 39, and 10. So 44 plus 39 bracket n minus 1 plus your n squared minus 3n plus 2 divided by 2, all times by that 10, all right? Which simplifies to 44 plus 39n minus 39 plus your 5n squared minus 15n plus 10. And now the next step is to group your like terms, all right? So here, this is your 5n squared. Now, is that 15? Right, so 39, you've got your 39 minus 15. You get 24, so that's plus 24n, right? And then we have 44 minus 39, 44 minus 39 plus 10, then you get 15. Now, this is your Tn. Now, if you look at your problem there, we were using m, so this is now Tm equals to 5m squared plus 24m plus 15. So in other words, if you look at your first solution, you got 5m squared plus 24m plus 15. So you have answered your question in different ways, but you've got the value of a plus b plus c in terms of m as your 5m squared plus 24m plus 15. I think we can just give them a break and then we come back.
All right. Guys, the person that I think might have attempted it, it's Mahlatsi Lesufi Floyd, and everybody else, just check out the answer that we have there. But then from us to you guys, we wish you all the best. And do you have any wise words for them who are writing tomorrow?
Is it over?
Yeah.
No, I thought we had another segment.
Over.
Okay. All right, guys. Good luck for tomorrow. Please make sure that you work very, very hard. Make sure that you get all the questions. Start with the questions that you understand and easy questions. And then the ones that you don't understand, you come back to them a bit later. Okay. And good luck. Good luck. We wish you all the luck, guys.
All the best, guys. Go out and conquer. From us to you, good night.